But yeah, so if you tell us more about you, like where you from, where you originally grew up and all that.
No, for sure. So I'm Sophia Lightbourne.
Mm-hmm.
I am the Lioness on Instagram. I'm from Freeport, Bahamas, born and raised. I've been living in South Florida though from high school.
Mm-hmm.
Um, really spent most of my life in America, more here than home, but still have a lot of deep roots in the Bahamas back home. My whole family is still there. My entire family is still back home in the Bahamas, and I'm an entrepreneur. I always say if there's ways to make money, I'm gonna figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've been doing basically my whole life. Entrepreneurship. My parents are entrepreneurs, so I've seen that from growing up, and
Mm-hmm.
I say it's in my DNA, it's in my blood.
True, true. So with your mom still has the company. Your mom and your dad still have Admiral Marine, right?
So after Dorian, we had
Mm-hmm.
about 8 feet of water in the building out there
Jeez.
off of Queens Highway. So they didn't reopen since then. But
Mm-hmm.
the reason was that, so like how life is. Life is cycles, and they had literally just maybe a week prior, just fully stocked with inventory, over
Wow.
$100,000 worth of inventory, and then Dorian came and washed it away. So I think they were kind of discouraged
Mm.
after that to just start again. And both of them in retirement age, so they're enjoying life now. So right now, they're just taking it easy. But the
Okay.
building, we still have the building. So anyone looking for commercial property,
All right.
shameless plug.
Was there stuff in short?
No,
No.
no,
Hey.
no. So just money washed away with the storm.
But
Yeah,
they retired now.
yeah. They're home. They're retired. They fixed the building. So the building is there,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not open for business right now.
They would rather sell it or just rent
Well,
it out.
they're up and down with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like they're at that age now where they think, man, let me just get rid of this. But then when they think long term, it's holding on to property, holding on to real estate. They have kids, right? And with me in their ear, it's like, no, we ain't selling nothing. We could rent this or we could do something else. But right now, the building's paid for, no mortgage, so it's just there.
Where is it located again?
It's right off of Queens Highway. You know
Mm-hmm.
where Solomon's is?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so the corner by Solomon's, if you
Right.
turn through Solomon's and you make a left, it's called Wimpole Street,
Mm-hmm.
right by Big G's Plumbing.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
So I have some plans. I have some
yeah.
plans in the back of my mind to do
Right.
some things with that building and with that property.
All right. Do they have to pay any type of property tax or anything
No,
because of
so
the location?
me and my dad, as I start to evolve in entrepreneurship, our conversations have gotten different. We talk a little deeper now too. So what I've learned is back in the day, the Port Authority had a program where if you were able to pay your property tax 10 years in a lump sum, you don't have to pay it after that. You pay that one time, and he was able to do that with the property for the business and for where their house is.
God bless Bahamas.
Because now
Yes.
property tax on undeveloped property is like $400 or $500 a year for bush
Wow.
for the life of that property. That's good. Listen to me, Dev. Go to Port Authority. Y'all making plenty money.
And this. Okay, so that's just the port.
Yeah.
Because in other islands, well, basically that's government.
Right.
So when foreign investors like purchase island or purchase or bring a business into the Bahamas, they don't have to deal with like property tax
I
and
think
those
I
things.
don't know, but I think they get a lot of concessions that Bahamians don't get
Yeah, I
because
could
they want to
imagine.
bring the investment, so they kind of sweeten the deal for them.
Right.
But Freeport, I don't think that much of that is going on. They
Yeah,
do something,
definitely,
but they don't do
definitely.
enough because if they were, we'd have more
Yeah.
foreign investment happening.
Right.
And I think that's what the island needs right now. Investment.
So what it is like growing up in the Bahamas?
Man, that's the best life ever. But the thing about it is I always been like a big thinker, big dreamer. So I'm an island girl, but I always had New York City dreams. I never wanted to stay there. But it was a great life, and I'm that type of person. I had a great life, right? Even though I'm an entrepreneur, I don't have the story of I was broke and I was sleeping in my car. I don't have that story. I had a great life. My
Right,
parents
right.
were able to provide, give me the best.
Right.
But it also helped to develop a hustle in me,
Right.
where I was like, "This is the life y'all give me. I can't never go below this standard. I have to, I have
yeah,
to, I have to
yeah.
keep it going." But
Yeah.
life back home, man, was great in the Bahamas. Being able to eat the freshest food. My
Yeah.
dad's in fisheries, so we always had boats. So being able to go fishing on the weekend and best life, the
Yeah,
best quality of life.
definitely, definitely. Would you do you think it's a culture shock from when you left the Bahamas
In 11th grade,
in
I came
11th
here for
grade?
11th and
Oh,
12th
so you
grade.
never actually like physically you never physically work at home.
I work not really for someone else. I worked in my family business. That was I worked there for real, but
Okay.
but I didn't work for any external companies in
Okay, because I
Bahamas.
was gonna ask you what was it was a culture shock like working in the Bahamas and then coming over here and working and seeing like you know um you taxes coming out your money, you're getting your social security and how important it is. And
No, definitely that was a shock. I mean, it's totally different from what we're used to, right? Home, it's kind of like everything's cash based. If you've got cash in the bank or in your pocket, you buy it. This whole credit system, we didn't know anything about financing a car for 7 years, and
right,
or,
really.
or leasing vehicles or being able to live this lifestyle where I say it's a trap, with the credit system in America. You come here, you say, hey, the car payment is 400 a month. You think you could afford the car payment, but that don't mean you could afford the car.
True.
Right?
It's like it's a real rat race though. Like
Exactly.
it do get you thinking, well, okay, instead of paying everything in full, let me just pinch,
Spread
pinch,
this out.
pinch, pinch. But now you got a house payment, now you got a car payment, you got credit card payment, and this thing, you know what I mean?
It's never ending.
Yeah.
It's never ending. America, listen, it's a lot of opportunity. I'm grateful that I'm able to be here and be able to have both.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, I have dual citizenship, so I have my Bahamas passport, I have a U.S. passport, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not everything everyone thinks it is who's home. I've been on both sides of the grass, and the grass is not greener on the other side. It depends on you, the individual. Someone, if you want to leave the Bahamas and come here saying you're chasing opportunity, you got to have some hustle and some dog in you, because you come to the States and you can't pay your rent. 30 days later, you evicted.
Yep.
Ain't no telling the landlord, man, I ain't got it. That doesn't fly here. So you have to have your ducks in a row.
Yeah.
But if you are a person who got drive, got ambition, have the right people around you who could help support you, I feel like there's no limits to what we can do.
That's true. That's true. But I always tell people it's like, yeah, people. Well, I know people still think like that, but back in the day, once you get in America, oh, they must be rich. Oh, you could do this, do that, do this, do that, right? So when people hit hard times here, remember now, all their family in the island. So when you broke or you ain't got nowhere to stay, you literally ass out.
Straight up.
You see what I'm saying? At least at home, you have family members who would put you, wouldn't let you be on the streets there.
Exactly.
They'll take you in or whatever for a month or two. But over here,
you on your own.
You literally on your own, and people gotta understand that like this. Yeah, you see the glam and all this stuff, but it really, like you say, you really gotta be on your grind. You can't come here to play. No,
and I think a lot of people realize that quickly when they do try.
Mm-hmm.
Is that they come at thinking, like you say, as soon as you get to foreign, everything better.
Yeah, everything cheap, everything cheap.
I could afford everything until you realize Florida is one of the most expensive places to live in America right now. The average apartment is $2,000.
Yep.
Minimum.
Florida right behind Cali and New York.
New York, exactly. So people just have to realize that opportunity exists, but you have to have you have to be ready to do it all. Like you have to go all in on whatever it is you're trying to do.
When did you, how old you was when you felt like you wanted to be an entrepreneur?
I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur my entire life. I know that sounds crazy, but I've always kind of been good with technology and computers and stuff. And since I think my first real paid job might have been when I was 12, like fixing computers. It was actually for, shout out to Miss Fountain and Mr. Fountain from Pepperport, right? It was actually for them. I used to fix their cash register.
Wow.
Like when the cash register went from just the regular one with paper to like being more computerized where you could program the stuff that's on the buttons. They didn't have a clue. And I don't know, I just knew how to do it. And, I used to go there to help them with that. And I got paid. So I like, hold on, I could make money from knowing how to do stuff, and that just evolved. And then I left home at 15 to come here in the 11th grade. And the summer before I came to boarding school. The summer before I came to boarding school, I got a job doing what is called point of sales and inventory for a little grocery store for Mario Donato. And I was like 14 and I make like $3,000 that summer. So I realized that I know how to make money.
14 with $3,000, no bills. Well, you rich.
Right, I rich, I balling. And I was coming away to school the same time, so that I was able to, put some money in my pocket. And from then, it's always just been about how can I make money? And I believe making money is a mentality. It's not really an action. It's a mindset. And once you have a money maker mentality, you're going to be able to identify things that's happening around you and figure out how can you monetize. That's when I got in. I started DJing. I was a DJ. Now I know some people who know me from my past life know me from as DJ Shorty.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Had a recording studio the little time I
remember that.
After I finished college and I moved back home. I was home maybe for 2 years. After the student visa run out. Because I'm not gonna lie, I had a season in my life where I was a career student. Because I just needed to keep switching degrees so I could stay in America.
So you can expand the visa.
Right, I need another 2 years, another year, another 2 years. Until finally my parents say, okay, enough of this now. You got to graduate. Do something. And I finally finished school and I was home for a while. And I had a studio. Because my last educational program was a studio audio engineering school in Miami called SAE Miami. I went there. And after I went home and I started a studio. And it was good. I love music, but I sucked at business, so that failed.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was the hypest person on the island. Yeah. Everyone was at the studio. Pure Records was coming out, but I was making $0 because no one was paying me. I was doing business with my heart instead of my brain. So
wow.
Thank God I was in a space that I was supposed to be paying rent in for my parents. And because of the situation, I never got evicted. But I wasn't paying no bills. I wasn't making no money, bro.
So it's more of a passion thing.
It was a love thing.
Yeah, you did it for the fun of it.
But I really wanted these people to pay me. I gave them the invoice. They just didn't pay it.
That's being boy.
Some payments is bad pay now.
That's payments, boy. And the time you did it is really early in the game, so they still don't understand the business aspect of making music. Yeah. They just, man, that's my jack, man.
That's my spa.
That's my jack. Yeah, we cool, man. Jeez,
and that's exactly what it is.
So with that being said, what you think is the pros and cons of being an entrepreneur?
There's so many, man. Which one do you want to start with, pros or cons?
Give me the cons, yeah.
The cons of being an entrepreneur is some days, some weeks, some months you can make $0. And you have to be okay with that. You have to accept the fact that you may have the greatest idea, you may have the greatest hustle, you may have the greatest product or service, but some days you just ain't gonna make no money. Especially starting out as an entrepreneur, you have to know it's gonna be some rough months. Another con that's kind of like two polar opposites is you can make a lot of money one week and then make no money the next week. That's hard because a lot of people early in entrepreneurship, we don't have money management skills. So we make something nice this week, we blow the whole bag. Then next week, nothing come in. Now you pussing again. Yeah. So that's one of the cons of entrepreneurship. The next one is a lot of people don't think you tripping. They gonna think you crazy. They're gonna wonder why you want to do something that's outside of the box, or why you just don't go get one job. You live in foreign, why you just don't get a job? They pay good over there. You sound like you've heard that before.
It's funny though, because you could do that, but you kind of putting someone else in control of your future. For sure. If they have some type of emotional ties where they don't like you, or they have some type of, they can block your growth.
For sure.
Why would you allow someone to put you in that position? Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with working with certain companies will allow you to grow or whatever. Right. But you got companies where you working for somebody and they don't see your vision. They don't see your work. You working your hard. You working your butt off. You work every day.
Yeah.
They they trying to make sure put their friend in a certain position and all that. Oh man, you
No.
can't allow someone else to be or to determine your future.
No, for
You
sure.
know, that's kind of
That's
discouraging.
that's letting someone, that's allowing someone else to be in the driver's seat of your
Right,
life.
right,
You playing passenger to your
right,
own movie,
right,
you know, which is
right.
kind of dangerous. But like you say, there's nothing wrong with a job. It's a great place to start. I always say jobs are great places to learn skills,
Yeah, true,
you
true.
know? But once you've learned and mastered the skill at that job, it might be time for you to move on.
Yep, yep.
But sometimes people get so content in the security of that paycheck, you know, every Friday or every other Friday or once a month, that check getting direct deposited, people lose their
Yeah, they
dreams.
get comfortable.
I don't know if you ever heard this saying before. They say a job is basically a paycheck to make you sell out your dreams.
That's the first time I heard that.
Like, that's what they do. A job pays you to forget about your dreams because it pays you
Really?
enough to stay content
Mm-hmm.
and keep you comfortable enough to say, you know what, that dream I have, man, I can do it next year, 5 years from now.